Okay, we are good to go. We are going to get started now. Okay. Oops. Ah, there we go. Okay. Welcome to MLH localhost Python 1 Introduction to Python. If you're going to be posting about this and posting about this workshop on, Twitter and Insta, whatnot, make sure you use the event hashtag MLH localhost. You can tweet at MLH hacks and me at Darren D Butler. Okay. So I'm here to lead the session and help you learn something new today. My name is Darren Butler. I am a junior at Lancers College, which is in Little Rock, Arkansas, but the semester is online, so I'm doing it from home in the Bahamas. And of course, my favorite programming language is Python because you can use it for web development, you can use it for AI, machine learning, and it's very easy to learn and understand. Okay, I'm going to share a bit more about me. I'm also part of the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador Program, and Learn Student Ambassadors are a global group of campus leaders who are eager to help fellow students create robust tech communities and develop technical and career skills for the future. If you're interested in looking up the program, you can find more information at studentambassadors.microsoft.com. In addition to that, I'm also a club lead at Developer Student Clubs at my school, Lancers College. And Developer Student Clubs are university-based community groups for students interested in Google Developer technologies. You can find out more about the program at dsccommunity.dev. And if you attending are part of either of these communities, let me know in the chat. Represent. And my guild is the Developer Student Clubs Guild. So if you don't have a guild, go ahead and join us. Let's see. But if you have a small guild and you want to merge with us, that's okay too. Let's topple the hierarchy on the leaderboard. Okay, so what are you going to learn today? Well, we're going to learn what Python is and what you can do with it, basic Python syntax and structures, how to create pipe and run Python programs. Okay. And for those of you that are new to MLH, Major League Hacking events are meant to bring hackers together so they can learn, build, and share. Um, and here's the quick facts. Each year, MLH supports over 65,000 hackers around the world at the events they facilitate. Those students create more than 12,000 amazing projects together. And MLH is a global organization that empowers hackers in more than 400 cities. Now, why does all this matter? Well, for one, coding is the new literacy. There are millions of coding careers where you can learn a lot, where you can earn a lot of money and make a difference by using Python. And once you learn any programming language, you can learn any other programming language. Okay, so I want to know like how many people coded before. So I have a bit more of an interactive way to see that. Uh, let's see. So let's see. Let's see, where I like to use Slido for participation. So, so if you go to, I want to get a good feel of like how much people uh, put it before and whatnot. So if you go to Slido.com and enter this event code, you can do this poll right here. So I'm gonna give you a minute to try that. Okay, so we got one person. So go to Slido.com and enter this event code right, and enter this code right here. Let's see. I'm also watching the chat, but I like to use Slido to get a visual representation and to also help everyone else see what everyone else is up to. Okay, and we got C++, we got HTML, CSS, we got Python. Ooh, you should totally, if you're interested in web development, you should totally learn the Flask framework. It's very simple to learn and it's easy to get started up with. Okay, awesome. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep it going. It's great to see. And if you haven't coded before, no worries. This is an intro workshop, so you are in the right place. All right. Where'd it go? Okay. So this workshop is the first in a series of 3 workshops that will teach some Python basics that you can use for many purposes, such as artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence might sound like something from the future, but it's actually all around you. Take, for example, Siri and Alexa. Siri and Alexa use a type of AI called natural language processing to listen to spoken words or respond to them. And Netflix uses artificial intelligence to predict what you like to watch. And Capital One's new Eno tool helps you determine if someone has stolen your credit card, your card number, and to manage your finances using machine learning and natural language processing. Okay. There are a lot of things you'll need to learn to be able to write your own artificial intelligence applications. In this series, we're going to start with the basics. Today, you'll cover the basics of writing code in Python. In later workshops, you'll use a natural language processing library to create a bot of your favorite Twitter celebrity. Okay. So what are we going to build today? Today, you're going to learn the fundamentals of Python by writing various Python scripts and running them in the console. And the console is an application that runs Python files. Okay. Let's see. So you will be able to build the below project in the later workshop series that uses artificial intelligence to scrape tweets off of Twitter. So let me give you a preview of that. All right, trying to get the web page open. Oh, whoa. What's up, my computer? Okay, there we go. I'm going to share this screen. Okay, there we go. So this, if you attend the other workshops in this Python series, you're going to build this little quick thing. Let's see. So I'm going to take tweets from my favorite rapper, No Name. So what this is doing, this is scraping Twitter for apps from this account. And web scraping is collecting data from a website. Okay. Let's get back to the code. Let's get back to the presentation. Okay. Okay, let's look closely at how that works. When a user enters the Twitter handle of another user, that information is put into your script. The script pulls some of the tweets from the Twitter user using a process called web scraping. And as we called before, web scraping is just collecting information from the internet. Once your script has this information, it runs some functions on it. Functions are code that you can use over and over again. Then a function removes the information we don't want and prints the information we do. Okay, so how are we going to get this done? For one, you're going to find a glitch, and I will put the link to glitch in the chat. 2, copy the code. 3, learn the basics of Python. Write a few Python functions. Create Twitter using Python. Format your information. And then we'll review and look at the next steps. Let's get started. Let me keep an eye at the chat. Make sure that everyone's still good. Okay, what's Python? Python is an interpreted high-level coding language. It was invented by Guido van Rossum in 1991. Python can be used to make web pages, apps, and scripts. One of the most common uses for Python is artificial intelligence and machine learning. You're learning some Python basics today as the building blocks to go on and learn more about machine learning or AI later in your academic career or professional career, however you want to think about it. Now we're going to look at Python basics, which includes variables. And variables in programming are a lot like variables in math. They store information for us. Also, loops. Loops are a structure your program can use to perform the same task multiple times rather than pointing it out by hand every single time. Functions are structures you can use in your program to reuse bits of code throughout the program. In running your program, you'll learn how to run your program by entering the commands in the glitch console. Okay. Well, the best way to learn the code is not read about it, so let's set glitch. Okay. Now, you might get, depending on how you sign up, you may need to check your email to verify sign up. So if you will need to check into your email, you might want to do that now. But you could also sign up with your Google account or Facebook, I believe. So it's up to you. So let me grab this. So go to this link, MLH localhost/glitch. You're going to get to this URL. You're going to click sign in. You're going to sign in. Well, if you can sign in with your Gmail or Facebook or GitHub, that might be faster. It's up to you. But either way, you're going to need to get to this URL. Let me know. Okay, I'll give you a minute to do that. Let me know in the chat if you're able to sign up. Okay. Praneet got it. Done. Jordan. Okay. Okay, yes, I'll try to put the link in the let me try to put the link in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, it's not easy for me to grab. It's not as easy for me to grab the link as I would like. Let's see. MLH. MLH local/glitch. Anyone? I hope I typed that correctly. I tried putting in the chat to try help out anyone else. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for putting it in the chat, yeah. Okay, let's see. How many participants do we have right now? I have 35 participants. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we have about 30 more seconds. I don't want to leave much people behind. Okay. Okay, and the link is in the chat, so I'm going to move on. The link is in the chat, so I'm going to move on to the next slide. As I said, it depends on how you sign up for Glitch. But just make sure that you're signed in. Okay. Let's see. Am I good to move? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, am I good to move ahead? If you're having any problems, let me know now or forever hold your peace. I don't want to leave too much people behind. Okay, am I good to move ahead or? Yes. All right, friends, I like your energy. Okay, so great, you're signed up. Now let's get to the code. Okay. Okay. Let me see how I can quickly grab the link and just post it in. So you need to go to that URL above, click remix your own. Let me see if I can quickly grab that. Thank you, Brent, for putting that. You're not, you're an awesome helper. That link is also in the chat now. So you're gonna go to the link above and click remix your own. This thing right here. Let's see if this goes. We got my thing again. Okay. Awesome. So that shouldn't have taken you long. Okay. So you now have your own version of the project. This is the code you'll need to complete the workshop. So let's dive in. We're gonna be writing code now. Okay. Programming 101, variables. Okay. A variable stores some data, like numbers or text. We can create variables, uh, give them values, and modify those values later. What you need to do is click on variables.py in glitch and type in the following code. Let's see. And if you're looking for where you see your files, you should see your files on the left-hand side. And let's see. And so some common problems that you might need to debug for, or common problems that you might run into, is forgetting the second parentheses, getting like second parentheses right here, or mixing up the parentheses and the brackets. So be mindful of that. Let me make sure I'm not blocking code. You need to be able to see it clearly. Okay. So when you got that done, when you have that code typed into variables.py, let me know in the chat. Okay. No, it's moments like this where I wish I could have like just a little bit of lo-fi in the background, but like I don't want the music to interfere with my voice. So if I figure out a way to do that cleanly next time, okay, when I click on variables, that's why it starts downloading. Let me check that out. That should not be happening. Let's see. So let me share real quick. I can't open anything. All right, let me have a look at my own project. Variables up here. Huh. It's strange. Okay, so to make sure that okay, you joined me. Okay, so Patrick, what you're gonna need to do is you know what? So you're going to need to go to to the link I posted in the chat, and I'm going to go back in the slides. I'm going to go back in the slides a bit. So just well, actually no, I'm going to keep that up. So Patrick, you are going to go to the link I just posted in the chat and click remix, which is in the bottom left. Um, let's see. So let me know if you're if so after that you would have made after clicking remix at the link I just posted in the chat, you would have created your own copy of the project, and that's where you type your code. So let me know if that works for you. Okay. All right. So how's everyone doing? Do we have our code typed in? Give me a message in the chat if you are ready to move on. Okay. Keep those messages coming when you're done. Javier, Patrick. Awesome. Like the smiley face. Rebecca, Jordan, friend, Kevin. Okay. Okay. Are we able to do anything with the? Ah, I'm glad you asked, Franz. I'm glad you asked about the brackets. So let me fix. Let's see. So this is another point. So these brackets are what you use to identify. Well, let me explain it this way. So this dot format is a built-in function that helps you format your code when it's printed. So think of these brackets as fields that the value of these variables will go into. Okay, so I think a good number of people are done typing that in. So we're going to run the script now. So if you click Tools, which at the bottom left of the page, and type in, okay, so click Tools at the bottom left of the page. It will look like this. Then click on Terminal and type in Python variables.py. That is the command to run a file. And I'll leave this up for a few seconds and then I'll switch over to, let's see, and then I'll switch over to show you to give a demonstrations. The brackets just for strings. No, the brackets are not just for strings. You, what Python has implicit typing. So any variable that you put in there, whether it's a string or not, um, the value of it would show up where the brackets are. I mean, it would show up as a string. It's like you have like if you have like an integer or let's just say a number value, um, it would go where those braces are, and become part of the string. Okay. How? Okay. As I let me help. Let me know if you run the code. Let's see. Do they have to be strings or not? They do not have to be strings. The parameters of the format function do not have to be strings. Let me know if you've run your code. Okay, Jasmine's done. Okay, awesome. Got it. I get an error. Okay, got an error. Okay, so let's see. No such file or directory. Okay, for troubleshooting, let me share my code real quick. How do I? I'm going to share my code real quick, in case anyone's having trouble, to give you an idea of what it should look like. Okay, so maybe I might need to increase uh, my font. I hope this is large enough for everyone. Okay, so what was the, let me move back. Uh, I think I have some extra code here that we haven't gotten into yet, but let me show you how you would run. And let's see. Okay, so this is how you would run it, variables.py. And it gives us our output. Don't worry about all this code here. Of course, I'm not sure I went ahead and went through the workshop beforehand. Let's see. To help you out, let me know what your error is. Just you can paste your. If you get an error message, you should be able to copy and paste it in the chat so I can help you. So if you have an error, go ahead and do that. Ah, I see. Okay, is anyone else having any issues? Okay. Okay. Seems like we're good to go ahead. If you have any issues, let me know in the chat. Let's see. let me get back to the presentation. PowerPoint slideshow. Okay, there we go. We're back to our presentation. Let me out my presenter view again. Okay. Okay. So the console will display anything inside the print statement. Each print statement is on a new line. Okay. Once we've created some variables, we can modify them. This means changing their value. Try adding the code below to variables.py and running it again. So add this code right here. And you can also go ahead and experiment with different math operators like subtraction, division, or multiplication. Okay. Oh, I also remember. Oh, I also just remembered. If you go to the registration page for this workshop, you should be able to access the slides. So if there's anything that you missed, you can go back and look at the slides. You can go back through the copy of the slides that's on the registration page. Doesn't seem to let me copy and paste. Slide link is not working. Let's see. Okay, slide link is not working. In that case, I am going to upload. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put a copy of the slide of the PowerPoint inside the chat. You can. That should be helpful in case you weren't able to get it from the registration page. And also, let me know when you are when you've gotten this code in. You should be able to move on as soon as I get those documents. Let's see. Okay, I have so much files. Partner, close in partner. Let's see. Where is it? Ah, there it is. Okay. Let me have a look at. Okay, I'm looking at. Oh, okay. I see. I see. So I believe whose code is this? Um, so Ace, I believe, makes you a funny thing about strings. I'm gonna go back real quick. A funny thing about strings. You have to have strings inside quotes. You have otherwise you have to have your strings inside double quotes. So that's why you're getting that error. Let's see. And do I open Okay. Okay. So let's get back. Oh, and here are those workshop slides in the chat now. Oh, they're up. I get it. Okay. Oh, I thought I get it was a plain words, but no problem. See, the slides are uploading in the chat. Hopefully they upload soon. Okay, cool. The slides are in the chat. If you think you've missed a step, you can always refer to the slides, and they're in the chat. Let's see. And this is where we were. Okay. Now let's talk about functions. A function allows us to use the block code over and over. You've already used a few without realizing. So print and format are Python functions. Functions have a few features. Example, name. Functions have a name, and when we type that name, we use we call or use the function. We call that calling the function when we want to use it. Functions also have parameters. You can give the function a variable or multiple variables to use. When we use the print function, everything inside the brackets is used by the function. Okay. Now we are going to write this code in functions.py. So open the file functions.py and let's write some more code. Okay. Now I'll try typing. Oh, when you've got this written, try typing Python functions.py into well, these slides referred to as console. There's able to terminal, console, and terminal mean the same thing. A quick note about this: the main issue you may find with copying this code is the indent on line 5. The indent had to be a tab or 2 spaces, otherwise the compiler is going to complain. I recommend using a tab instead of 2 spaces. So one quick thing to note, after typing a colon, see here it's colon, it's very important, to start the function and hitting enter, the code should automatically indent itself with the correct amount. Okay. Another thing, lines that start with a hashtag are comments and are ignored when the program is run. They are optional to type, so you don't have to type any lines with the hashtag. Okay. We exit the function by setting the indentation back to the original, like on line 7. This is a bit different than JavaScript or Java or C++, where we would start and finish a function with curly braces. Okay. So with those things in mind, go ahead and add this code to functions.py. Let me know if you have any questions. And if you're joining late, the slides are in the chat, so you can catch up that way. Let's see. And let me know in the chat when you have your code in. Okay. Okay, Shen, Sarah, Larissa, Ace. What does DEF stand for? Oh, good question. What does DEF stand for? I'm actually going to touch on this more in the code. So DEF stands for definition. Define. So you are defining a function, and you use DEF whenever you want to define a function. Because name is not defined. Name is not defined. Okay, so if you get an error that says name is not defined, that might be because you did not, perhaps you have it mistyped inside your function header, which is this piece right here. This is called the function header. So make sure that you have name as a parameter in your function. Okay, let me look at how much. It looks like a good number of people are finishing up. Let's get a few more done just to make sure. Okay. Looks like we can push ahead. Always, if you have any issues, let me know in the chat. I'm watching closely. Okay. Let's review the code that we just wrote. So in lines 4 to 5, this is our function. We use def. We use the def or define keyword to start a function. We give it a name, which is in this case, say hello, and a parameter, which in this case, name. If you don't have said you're having trouble downloading the PowerPoint. Ooh, let's see. Okay, let me see if I can get to the slides from the registration workshop, because I know that'll be important for you all. Let me sorry, this one. Let me try and get the slides, and then that's important. Let me go to the event page and see what's up. Okay, just different slides. Ooh, I see. I'm not sure what happened with those slides. Okay, let's see what I can do for that. Okay, I'm gonna make a quick fix for those slides. I had no idea that that link was broken. Page. Okay, so I'm going to go to the. I'm gonna move forward to the next slide, and while everyone is quitting, if you're trying to catch up, I'm going to do a quick workaround for those slides. But in the meantime, let's just look at this code. I just continue looking at this code. So again, notice that line 5 is indented under line 4. Anything that comes later that is not indented is not part of the same function. So this code right here, since it does not have the same indent under the function, is not part of this function. In line 7 to 8, we call out the function by typing its name and giving a value to the name parameter. Whichever parameter we give the function is used. This is called passing the variable into the function. Okay, now we're going to do our first challenge. You can pass multiple variables into a function. To do this, separate the parameters with a comma when you create the function like this. Notice the comma right here. So the challenge is write a function that takes two parameters, multiplies them together, and prints the results. Here's some code to help you get started, and you can do this inside the variables.py file. Now, as some people work on the challenge, let me try to get that workaround for these slides. I'm going to put it inside a Google. I'm going to upload it to the Google Doc and put the link in the chat. Let's see. So let's give. I'm going to give a minute or two for the challenge. When you've completed, when you've done the challenge, let me know. We're going to look at the solution in about a minute. And always feel free to let me know if you need me to slow down or speed up. Actually, we might need to go faster so we keep on time. Let's see. Okay, is there a way to link the presentation? Yeah, I'm uploading the presentation to my okay, there we go. So let me, okay, so I'm grabbing the link for the presentation from Google Drive. Okay. Copy link. Okay. So there, I just sent a link to the chat to the slide since you're having some trouble, since the link is broken from the registration page. So could you repeat how the code knows when the function ends? Sure. So let me backtrack a bit. see. Where am I? Okay, here it is. So let's see. So the code knows when the function ends by the indentation. So everything that is, so for example here, everything that's part of, say, this function, say hello, has to be indented like this under it. We exit the function when we get rid of the indent. So this is part of the function. So this print statement is part of the function. These statements here, which are not indented in the same way as print, are not part of the function. Okay, good question. Okay, now we are going to, oh, and let me know if we're able to get to the slides, which are in the chat. Let's see. Oops. Let's see. Okay, so let's look at the solution. Oops, where did my mouse go? Let's look at. Okay, so we're going to look at the solution. We're going to look at the solution. Okay. So as you see here, we define our function, multiply two numbers. We pass it. We pass it two parameters. Well, we give it two parameters, x and y. In this print statement right here, we multiply x times y. And we pass it, for example, you could use any two numbers. We pass it these two numbers, for example, to get it to pass the parameters and get a result back. Okay. So let's keep it pushing. Okay. So far, our function uses the parameters within the function. What if we wanted to use the results somewhere else? We can do this by returning values from functions. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, we're going to write some more code. Open up returns.py and add the following code. Okay, and as a quick note, the upper function changes a string to all uppercase or capital letters. Now, I want you to run the program and tell me what happens. Or actually, but let me know when you've written the code. Let me know when you've written the code and it runs without any errors. And I see another question. So is multiply two numbers the bar we are supposed to reference? So in the example that we looked at earlier was multiplying two numbers. Multiply two numbers is the function, is the name of the function. Let's see. And we call a function by writing the function name and in between the brackets, putting in the values which we want to pass to the function. So multiply two numbers was a function, not a variable. Okay. Let me know when you have this code written in the chat. And if anything peculiar happens, like, don't worry about it. And let me know when you want me to move on. Like, okay, what is the purpose of the string with the one space in line 2? One space in line 2. Okay, good question. So let me get my laser pointer. So on line, two things I want to point out here. First, this is all on one line, and it isn't portrayed well here, but this is one line. I think you might get an error if you put an escape character or click enter after this line. You might get an error. I'm not 100% sure. That's a technicality thing. But this space right here is to give you a space in between first name and last name. If you did not have the space, you would get letters together. together. And I can demonstrate that real quick. Let's see. Well, I'll demonstrate that after the next slide. So let me know. Okay. Actually, I hope I'm not moving too fast. Does anyone still need to see the code, or can I move on? Okay. Yep. You ran and you didn't print anything, which is what we expect to happen. Yep. And Sarah knows you need. Okay. I'm afraid I'm moving too fast, and while you're still trying to write the code. Yep. Doesn't print anything. We're gonna. Okay. So yep. I have to debug 1 second. So yep, nothing happens because maybe you might have expected that because you didn't tell the function to print anything. Now next we'll look at how can we use the return value of a function to make it useful. Let me see. If you have an error, let me know what it is. You can take a screenshot or paste the error function in it. Let me see. What was I about to do? So go back to the code and add a piece on line 5 and 6. Now we have a variable called results right here. And we set the value to the output of our create full name function. And now after adding these 2 lines in, well, actually no, I think you might have already have them, but this is everything you should have for this function right here. After adding your print statement, and after saving the result to variable result and printing it in a print statement, run it again and let me know what happens. Let's see. Let's see. So you should run it and you should get a, yep, it prints out. I guess, yep. And I guess I'll demonstrate as well. Let's see. Let me share the new thing. Why can't I share my screen option? Yep. Where is it? Where's glitch? Where's glitch? So if I go to, what was it? Return, where is returns? Returns.py, here it is. Very funny. And I add in those lines of code but on those lines of code results, create full name, pass it Neil, and Armstrong. And then, let's see. Oh, this one caused an error, but I don't need this one. This line one caused an error, but I don't need it because it's. Note: whenever you are returning something, make sure that you want to use the result. Make sure that you save it to a variable. I'm gonna go ahead and run it. And another quick tip that I forgot to mention for I want to see my terminal better. Another quick tip I forgot to mention is that when you want to run something in the terminal, you don't want to continually be typing out like Python and the file name. You can use your up arrow to get commands that you've written before. Well, you can use up and down in the commands you've written before. So that's a quick tip. So if I put in Python returns the file name, some things are in the way. Returns.py. Yep. This is what it should return. Neil Armstrong in all uppercase. Okay, so good job so far. Good job. We are going to move on to the next thing. Next, we are. Where's my presentation? Oh, here it is. Okay, let's see. What is the purpose of creating a variable full name when it isn't going to be called? Full name. Okay, so in full name is so full name is, as I say. So currently there is no calling a variable. We call functions. We use variables. We use variables, but we don't call them because variables aren't like procedures to be done. And we do use full name by returning it. We see we give full name the value from this operation here, and then we return it. So it's kind of like, I don't know. This could be, so it's kind of like the result of our function. This could have been any variable. Um, let's see. Nicole, I hope that answers your question. Okay, where's my speaker tools? There we go. And we are more than halfway there, the workshop. Awesome. Now you know a little bit about functions. Let's talk about loops. Okay, so click on loops.py and let me know what you think that this code does. If you want to post in the chat, if you want to post in the chat, go ahead. If you want to be rhetorical, participation is up to you. Let's see. So to test it, enter. Yep, it prints all the days in order. Let's see. So let's look at what just happened. Okay. In the previous file, we had to write 10 separate lines of code to get the program to print, day 1, day 2, etc. However, the only thing different in each line was the number. Imagine if we had to print 100 days or even 1,000. Like, that would be a lot of work. Is there a better way? Yes, there is. Loops. Sometimes in programming, you want to do the same task over and over again, and a loop is an easy way to tell your program how to do that. So a loop, yeah, this is the definition of a loop is down there. It's a way to repeat the same task many times without writing the same code again and again. Okay, so let's look back at loops.py. So delete all the code that's currently in loops.py and add this code right here. Now you can make a guess at what it might look like. Let me see how much it's doing. So go ahead and write this code. Why don't we use print? Why don't we use print day? Okay, so good question, good question. So the question is, why don't we use print day? I wish there's an easy way to get the questions up. Why don't we? Oh, if you're looking in the chat, you'll see Puneet's question. Why don't we use print day plus string num instead of print day format and so on? Well, I would say one thing. There's two things I want to say on that. The first thing is that you don't need to explicitly cast the number into a string. You don't, because Python has implicit typing, so you don't have to explicitly cast like an integer into a string. And then the format function is just a neat way to I guess a neat way to to write your parentheses to write like the strings. I think I think Jordan actually has a better way of phrasing this. Let's see. Okay, so let me know if you're done with that step. So we can move. And we're going to dive in, and we're going to dive a bit more. So if you're able to run that without any errors, then you're all good. Am I good to move ahead? Am I good to move on? Okay, let me get a few yeses so I can be sure. Got 1 yes, 2 yes, 3 yes, 4 yes, 5 yes, 6 yes, 7 yes, let me get to 10. Okay, there are 30 attendees. I want to make sure that no one's getting left behind here. Okay, good. Okay, so it looks like a good number of people are right, are good to move ahead. If you are, once again, if you have any problems, the slides are earlier on in the chat. If you need those again, just let me know. Okay, so what happened? Our script printed out the day line 10 times, and that's not bad for 2 lines of code. But we want to print from day 0 to day 10. And notice that we only went to day 9. Ow. And also notice that it started at 0 and not 1. Let's look at why it went from 0 to 9 instead of 1 to 10. Well, loops.py only printed up to day 9. And it's because this. When using a range loop in Python, it prints up to but not including the number in parentheses. This is called an off by 1 error because the program did what we wanted it to except for one number. Also, it's not mentioned in the slide, but a range in Python will start from 0, as most things in programming do. They start from 0 because they're from 0. I believe the term is 0 indexed. So that's why I started from 0. Oh. Now here's a challenge. Uh, get loops.py to print through day 10. So you can get it to print from, let's say get it to print day zero, and let the last one be day 10. So start at day 0 and end on day 10. Now, what do you think you have to change? You can change. There are a few ways. I think there's more than one way you can do this, but you know, try to see what you can change here to get it to go from like day 0, day 1, all the way to day 10. And let me know when you've had a go at it. And then we can look at the solution. Okay, so the web scraping tomorrow. So someone is running the web scraping tomorrow. Today is the basics, the syntax. Um, actually, actually, let me look a bit ahead. Let me make sure I'm not misspeaking. I think the web scraping. I think today is the basic training. Yeah, so today is the basic training. We're also going to be looking at loops and import statements. And we're going to be, sorry, not loops, we're going to be looking at lists and import statements in this as well. And then we have a coding challenge that will involve everything that we've done at the end. Okay. Okay, so let's go on. Wow, where's my slide? Okay. So as soon as you had a go at it, now let's look at the solution. Now, this is one way you could have got it to go print from day 0 to day 10. Another way that I believe someone mentioned in the chat is that you could have had this as 10 and um, added num plus 1 in this statement here. So the value, so you would always print 1 more than the value of num. Okay, so we're making great progress. Let's talk about lists. So variables store a single value, but what if we want to have a list of related variables, like a list of names or phone numbers? This is where a list comes in handy. In other programming languages, you might call them arrays. But there's a few ways you can create lists in Python. Open up list.py and type this code. Try adding some code to print names and planets and see what that looks like. Oh, yeah, Angunjun. Okay, and Shen, I believe. I hope I'm saying your name right. um, let's see. In that range, so you could have also specified the range from 1 to 11. That's another way you can use the range function. Okay. So let me know when you're done typing this code. When you're done typing this code, actually, and perhaps, okay, done. Okay, awesome. Anyone else done? Let me know. So give y'all some time. Eight. Okay, Quinn. See them rolling in. I think we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, people are here. Okay, we took at 28 people. Let's get a few more. And some of this code. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10. Let's give it a few more moments. Let's say I get to, I think that's 10 people done. Let's give it a few more seconds. Well, actually, we can, let's see. So some of this code is still on the next block. Well, no, you need this. I don't want to move ahead too fast. Okay, done. Okay, so it looks like I can move ahead. Okay, so adding values to lists. Once we've created a list, we can continue adding values to it by using the append function like this. So you see we have our list planets, and we are, oh, please do note the kind of the braces that we use for lists, and that each of the values are separated by a comma, and as always for strings, remember the double quotes. So go ahead and add this code um, to and using to what's the name of the oh my gosh, what's the name of the file? I just go to the file. I've got the name of the file. I didn't believe this before. Okay, so go ahead. I'll just go. Let me know. Get that done. Let's see. Let me know if you got that code. If you got that code in. Okay, done. Got it. Love that energy. Um, Awesome, awesome, awesome. So guns are rolling in. I like it, I like it, I like it. One, two, three, 15. Okay, so it looks like we can move ahead. Alright. So that's adding values to lists. Let's look at retrieving values from lists. If we print our list, we get all the contents. What if we only want a single value from the list? Well, thankfully for us, Python lists maintain an index of their contents. This means we can access the value by its index number. Let's see. So go ahead and add print planet sub1 to your code. And what will be the output planet sub1? You might want to make a guess before. Um, Yep. And in case you're not familiar with arrays or lists, okay, you might have guessed Mercury because it's the first value in the list. But the console prints Venus, and that's because lists start at index 0. So computer, 0 is a perfectly usable number. So if you want the first value in the list, you gotta use index 0. So try printing out planets of 0 instead. So try that out. A few more, couple seconds for that. Okay, so I think you would have gotten that by now. Okay. Okay, so in using a planet sub-zero, you should have gotten, what was the first one? I forgot. You should have got a Mercury because that's the first one. So it starts at 0, 1, 2, and so on. Oh, okay, let's looping through lists. We covered loops and lists, so how about looping over lists? Add this loop to list.py and run list.py and check the output. This is called iterating over a list. Iterating over a list is looping through the list, visiting each element or index in the list. So go ahead and let me know if you tried that out. And then we're going to be talking about, and then we're going to go into how you import in Python. Okay, let me know if you got that done. But then we're going to move into import, and then we get to go to the challenge, the cumulative challenge. Okay, that's done. Awesome. Hearts all around. Okay. Okay, great. So it looks like we can go on and move ahead. And okay, returning to the presentation now. Okay, great. We're flying through this. Let's talk about importing. As you've seen so far, Python has a lot of built-in functions like print, upper, and range. Sometimes you want to extend the functionality of Python by using functions that someone else has written for a specific purpose. These are called modules. We can import We can even import other Python files we've written ourselves, so we can use their functions. So take a look at the returns.py file. By creating a Python file with some functions in it, we created a module called returns. Right? What if we wanted to use the create full name function in another Python file? Well, let's go ahead and do that. Open up imports.py and add this. Import returns. So that's import. So it's importing the returns.py file as a module, so you can use all the functions, and so you can use the functions from that file. Okay. We use the import keyword to import modules we want to use. Here we've imported our other Python script, returns.py. Now we can use the function we wrote inside returns.py. All we have to do is tell Python where the function is coming from by typing returns.create full name instead of just the function name. So see here, returns.create full name. We let Python know where the function is going to come from, and then we give it the name of the function. So let's see. And you don't have to remove any lines from the returns.py file. When we import a module, all Python cares about are the functions inside the file. Let's see. So let me know if you have that done. If you added this to import.py, let me know if you got that done. Okay, done, 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 done. Done. Awesome. Okay, let's move on. Sorry for singing. Okay, my import also printed the result of Neil Armstrong again. Neil Armstrong again. Okay, thank you, Danica. My import. Okay, so Kevin asked, my import also printed the result of Neil Armstrong again. Should that happen? Well, if you pass your file, let's see. Actually, if you passed, let's see, for example, anything that you pass the function, in this case, create full names, since it puts these strings together and prints it, it should print Chris Hadfield. If it's still printing Neil Armstrong again, and you didn't pass it Neil, if you didn't pass and you did not pass Neil here and Armstrong here, let's see. Then I'm not sure why that might have happened, but unless you like hard coded. Unless you hard coded, and when I say hard coded, it means like assigned like in the function. Print Neil Armstrong and then print 10 field. Huh. Well, you can send a screenshot. I guess you can send a screenshot of the code, because I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what might be there that's making it do that. Unless you just have another statement. I'm not entirely sure. Let's go ahead. Return sign the PY. Well, send me a screenshot. Send me a screenshot of your code so I can look at that. But that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Let's see. So now we're going to import another module, import external modules. So a useful module to have is the random module. It helps us to generate random numbers. Now, you're going to be writing this code, import random, and then print random.int these numbers. The random module has a function called randint, or random integer. We can give it two parameters, a start point and an end point. This will generate a random number, a random whole number between these values. So in this case, this will generate a number between 0 and 100. Now let me go ahead and look at those screenshots. Let me look at returns.py. Ooh, okay. Chris Hadfield. I got 82. That's number. And if you want me to have a closer look at the returns.py, that's sending Chris Hadfield and Neil Armstrong, let's take a screenshot of your returns.py. So that I could figure out that there, but it shouldn't be. It's not a big issue in our case. Okay, so I think you all have that done by now. If not, let me know. Okay, so that was a lot. We learned a lot today. Now how about we go and put all this together in a challenge? So far, we've learned about variables, loops, lists, functions, importing, and more. Let's write a script that combines these ideas. Okay. Open up challenge.py and give it a try. So, oops. So challenge.py should already have some challenge.py should have some comments of the instructions for the challenge, and you should write your code beneath that. Now let me take a look at the screenshot. Let's see. Huh. That is strange. Never experienced that before. Oh, okay. So let's see. I'm going to give, let's say, 3 minutes. Let's see, 3 to 5 minutes. I guess 5 minutes max for the challenge. Let me know when you've had a go at it, and then we are going to look at the solution. So let me show my screen for the challenge in PY. I don't know if I'm screen sharing. Okay. Oh, well, I don't. So don't worry about the partnering up. I don't. Microsoft Teams does not have breakout rooms. If it did, I would put you into breakout rooms, but that feature has been delayed to November. Okay, so what was it doing? Oh yes, pardon the pivot. Let me open up the code, just so everyone knows what everyone can be sure of what we are looking at. Ah, let's see. Challenge.py. So challenge.py. And if you need any help with anything, please do let me know. Let me go ahead and share challenge.py. This is this is what we are working on right now. Let's see. Let me know when you've had. Let me know if you guys to run success. Let me know if you guys run success. If you solved it. So let's give it 2 minutes. I am going to play some lo-fi to fill the silence. Let me know if you have any issues. Okay, the run. code. What is the random code again? Let's see. So I will show. So let me go and show that. Oops, trying to get back to the PowerPoint. That's not it. Where's my controls? There it is. Okay. I'm going to show the random code on the screen. Let me get that. So I wish I could quickly switch between what I'm sharing. It's going to be letting me do that. That seems to be giving me some additional controls. Okay. So the random code is import. Let's see. Random. Be mindful. Okay, so this is how you. So I sent an example of the random function in the chat. I guess I'll go back to the slide. So it's on interrupt the music, but that's all right. So let me go ahead and share the slides. If there's anything you need me to go back to, let me know. This is the wrong thing. I shared the wrong thing. Okay. I'm sharing. Let me make sure I share the right thing this time. Where is it? Slides. There we go. Okay. If you need the run, if you need examples from run, if you need any code snippets, to clarify anything, let me know. Okay, so Panina's got its run successfully. Is there any camel case in Python? So Patrick, what's the word? The convention for Python is to, I guess, separate your words um, in using an underscore. That's more. I mean, there's no, you wouldn't get an error or anything, but it's the convention what people usually do in Python rather than camel case. Okay. Okay, how's it going? Has anyone else figure it out yet? We look at the solution. Okay, Glenn got it. Shen got it. Shen. Awesome. Great job. How's the lo-fi? I'm wondering, how's the music coming through? I want to make notes on that next time I do a workshop. How's the music coming through? Actually, I'm not sure if you can hear it. I'm not sure if I'm actually sharing audio. Am I sharing? Am I sharing audio? Is the question. Probably not. Oh, I wasn't. Let's see. How does my voice sound over the music? You can do me a favor and let me know. Can you hear me all right? Okay. So let's see if we can move on to solution. Let me know if you can hear me. Awesome. I'm gonna keep this over because I love lo-fi. So let's stop everything. Um, if it's distracting at all, let me know. Okay. So now we're doing how to go at the challenge. Let's look at the solution. Okay. Let's look at the solution. function. Now, it's important to remember that calling parameters have lots of different solutions. If you have to look at this, don't worry. So let's look at this a bit closely. Actually, let me remember myself the prompt. So the prompt was, I want to see 10 lists of random numbers. The first list will have 0 items. The second will have 1 item. The third will have 2 items, etc. Each list will be random number between 0 and 100. Just had to read that to refresh myself. So you see here, I want to make sure I explain this. So we have we define our function generate random numbers, and in this function we create an empty list, and then we go into a range, which will go based on the number of items we wish to have in the list, because the number of lists that we want to create. And then in this function alone, we send. So we generate just one list in this function, just one list, and then we return that list. And in this for loop here, we append to the list the amount of items that we want to. So for here in this for loop, this for loop which is outside of our function which generates one list, we call generate random list, and this I, which is serving as kind of like this I is determining how much numbers or elements are going to be in the list that we want to generate. And we know that we want for each list 1 item, 2 items, 3 items, 0 items, 1 item, 2 items. And so we call so then in this list, whatever random list that we generate, we then print it after. So does anyone have any questions? Anyone have any questions? What my explanation? If you didn't get an explanation, okay, so it seems like a question. So let's recap. Python is a programming language you can use for data analysis and artificial intelligence. Python tools use functions. You can extend Python functions further by a module. If you want to test your knowledge, you can go to MLH. And I encourage you to take it. See. Okay. Oh, and please do complete the survey. Turn off this music. Okay. Okay. I turned off the music. I didn't. I need to make sure you can hear me properly. So go to MLH local.full/quiz to complete the quiz. Let me see if I can get that in the chat. Thanks for putting that in, Marissa. And the feedback, I'm sure MLH will appreciate. It's a great testing knowledge, and will also give MLH allow you to give some feedback to MLH on the presentation. Okay. Check your email for lots of resources to keep learning. You can add the part of the file that prints out the timeline however you want. And you can also go take the second workshop, let's see, which I won't be hosting, but if you go to, let's see, let me see if I can get to the Learn website. I had it open. Let's see. I'm gonna post it link to the So if you go to the live site for local hack day, You'll see other workshops are coming up. There is a part 2. Other people are hosting the part 2 and part 3 of this workshop. I wish I had the time to host the other parts of this workshop. Unfortunately, I don't. So throughout the week, you'll have the chance to keep hacking, keep learning, and also I'm gonna iterate again. If you need a guild, developer student clubs, like, is where it's at. Okay, so with that, thank you for attending this workshop. And if you want to connect with me, you can find me on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram at Darren D. Butler. I pasted the links by Twitter. You can also find me in the MLH Discord at the same under the same name. So thanks for coming to the workshop. That's it for today, and keep hacking. My pleasure. Glad you all enjoyed it. See you all around in the Discord and at the workshop. Come here, friendly. Ah, I knew I recognized your name, Marissa. Glad you saw it on LinkedIn. I guess I could open my LinkedIn. For now, I should totally do one of these at FRC's, a national convention. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I had to end this recording. Let me stop recording.